It has been nearly a decade since Pope Francis visited Uganda, yet for Jude Luwaga, the memory is fresh as yesterday. On November 20th, 2015, Luwaga stood among a select group of 150 choir members who led the faithful during the historic Mass at Namugongo Catholic Martyrs Shrine, where Pope Francis was the main celebrant. But Luwaga's role was not just that of a singer. He was also one of the trainers responsible for preparing the choir for one of the most significant events.
There were 5 choirs that were selected by the liturgical committee, and these choirs were Kachemko, Our Lady of Africa, Mbuya, St. Agnes Chibuye Machindye, Our Lady Help of the Sick, Mulago Parish, and St. Paul Mukono Parish. Each choir was supposed to select 30 members.
At the time, Luwaga was the instructor of the Catholic Centenary Memorial Choir, and when he received the call to be part of the project, he was both honored and humbled. They were informed around April 2015, and by May, individual choirs had started rehearsing. Later, they began rotating practices across different parishes, and by October, they met at Namugongo 2 days before the D-Day.
Friday, we had sound check. Immediately after the sound check, there was a heavy downpour and all our things were disorganized, so we had to reset the sound again on Saturday morning.
Songs to be sung were selected. Most of the hymns were in Latin, which gave a hard time for the choir to master. However, with the excitement and determination in mind, they mastered the songs. Looking back, he feels there should have been more traditional songs.
Laudamuste benedictus, Kyrie, Gloria, Credo, Sanctus, and Agnus. Those parts of the Mass, the main parts of the Mass, were in Latin. Then we had these other songs from the different languages, Uganda, from the north. But we lacked the Chiganda, the real Chiganda music, because I wanted us to have the mbut playing, xylophones. Of course, we had one or two.
On the day of the Mass, Namugongo was full with hundreds of thousands of people. Luwaga was positioned at the front conducting the choir, his back to the path from which Pope Francis entered. When the Pope finally came in, something shifted. The energy, the atmosphere, everything changed. The choir got distracted, everyone trying to steal a glimpse. Even Luwaga could not help it. He turned midway through the conducting just to steal a glimpse. It was a moment he will never forget.
People were now more concentrating on seeing the Pope than much as they were singing, but that kind of joy, so they were looking at the Pope and they were not looking at me at that time. I turned and looked at him as the conducting went on.
During the celebration, the Pope briefly stopped by the choir. Though they did not get a chance to speak to him, he says the brief moment melted their hearts. Luwaga's song was one of the theme songs used.
Go forth to the world.
Years later, Luwaga still has the official access card he was issued to enter Namugongo as a choir member. It is still hanging in his house as proof to his children that he was there.
So they said, we will also be able to sing for the Pope.
To this day, when people learn that he sang during that Mass, it adds to his credibility. He gets invited to speak to choir workshops and trainings.
The man who directs the Pope's choir, people really value you. Yeah, because singing for the Pope was not easy.
To him, Pope Francis was not just a church leader. He was a father who preached peace, loved the poor, cared for the environment, and spread hope. He first felt a deep connection with him in 2013, even before he came to Uganda, when he sent a marriage blessing to him. Norbert Atukunda, NTV News.